Now I'll move on to Councillor Tim Pike, who has asked to make a deputation in respect of the item. Councillor Pike, are you ready to deliver your deputation?
I am, Leader.
Please carry on.
Thank you very much, and thank you for letting me join you this afternoon. Leader, you correctly identified that you need to achieve the best value from this site, but I do have some concerns about the information that's presented to you today, and I'm urging you to defer your decision for further work and for scrutiny. And there's 6 very brief points I want to make to you today before your deliberations. The first of which is the urgency. I brought this forward to Cabinet as we needed funding to implement our regeneration strategy. Having listened to Claire Chester's briefing last week to scrutiny on the regeneration, it does not indicate an urgent need for funding, and therefore I believe there is time to get this right. Whilst the Cabinet can't ring-fence money as suggested by the previous deputy, you could put in your recommendations, your intentions for this money to accelerate the regeneration strategy, and I hope you will do that when we come to make this sale completed. My second point is about the deal. Some of you will be aware of the history of our council in selling properties, and you will remember the issues with the Potash Terrace deal, where the council sold that very lucrative site for £3.4 million back in 2006, and 4 years later it was sold on for £20 million. So from 3.4 million to 20 million. And this project at the moment looks as though it would go the same way unless you take a slightly different route through it. And therefore I'm going to urge you to defer in order to ensure that that does not happen again with this opportunity. The third point is about the financials. I believe there are other ways of closing the difference between the bids as presented to you today in order that we can secure a higher figure, but also achieve all of the benefits as indicated. Fourthly, this clearly has been changes since I brought this forward to Cabinet proposing the sale. There is a much stronger need within the MTFS for revenue within the budget, something that, Leader, you indicated was £12.1 million over 5 years. I don't believe this paper has sufficiently explored the options for maintaining a revenue stream from this site, as it could provide one of the solutions to meeting that £12.1 million gap. And I think that needs further work in order to ascertain could an ongoing revenue stream be achieved as well as a capital receipt. My fifth point is about the lack of scrutiny, which has been very disappointing with this as we come to the closure of this project. Backbenchers have been refused access to the documents that you have before you today, which I don't believe is something that this Cabinet has wanted to do in the past. It hasn't happened since the 5 councils contract in February 2016, where the backbenchers were refused access to exempt papers, and I'm hoping this will not go the same way as that decision. And my sixth point was about the environmental impacts. I believe the other deputies were right to indicate and comment on those potentials for environmental improvement, and clearly both things are achievable. For example, solar panels could be put on the roof of whatever building, and there's still considerable space on the south side of Harts Farm Way to achieve a solar farm as proposed, and I hope that's another project that could be taken forward at another time. But I do believe that the direction of this project is the correct one in terms of achieving an employment site, particularly noting that unemployment in our borough has tripled since the start of the year. So my urge to you today is to defer and to take further soundings and to undertake further work in order to try and meet some of those 6 points I've laid out to you today. That concludes my deputation, Leader.